The Square Ball Podcast.
Shall we pick ourselves a hero and a villain of the week then? From all the stuff that's happened, we've got the Leicester game to factor into this. We've got the Chelsea game to factor into this. We'll start with a Ken Bates Villain of the Week award. Feel free to take cheap shots. You know, if you've got any petty grievances you need to air while we air these, then, you know, go for it. Who do you want to put forward then? Thanks to all our TSB Plus members who've nominated people as well.
Any strong opinions, Rob?
Do you have anyone in mind? I feel like there's an obvious one, but
I'm going to go Dewsbury Hall.
Okay.
Because...
Where did you get married? It wasn't there, was it?
No.
No, it was in York.
Yeah, correct.
Like,
yeah.
I got married in York. Yeah. We were at each other's weddings, weren't we?
We were, yeah.
Yeah.
When are you getting married, Rob? By the time you settle down, you're 30 now.
You turned 30 over the weekend, didn't you?
I did.
Put down some roots, for God's sake.
These kids today. Honestly.
Unbelievable. Spending all his money on avocado when he should be getting himself a wife.
Should have bought a house by now, shouldn't I?
Get yourself a nice cheap starter home for just £250,000 or whatever they are these days.
I just stop eating poached eggs.
No, Dewsbury Hall, I'm gonna nominate because partly for being quicker than I thought he was. That was annoying, where he just kept running at us and going through. But that dive,
yeah.
That dive was awful.
Yeah.
He was really, really lucky not to be booked for that, because it was one of those where he clearly anticipated a challenge that didn't really materialise. So you can... I do sometimes have a degree of sympathy for players who think they're going to get clattered and sort of get out of the way of it and go down. But then having done
do you mean
that,
our players?
Our players, correct. but then when he went down, he turns to the ref and he's still going, "Want a penalty for that?" It's like, well, no, because there wasn't any contact, none at all.
I like Martin in Liversedge has taken a very cheap shot at him and described him as Keenan Batley Tesco for having a fucking stupid name, which is fair enough. That's the whole point of having a cheap shot, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And he did whinge a lot, as did Fies. Because I watched good sections of the game back, and he was basically spent the whole game moaning at the ref about something or another.
Yeah.
So
the appropriately named sideshow Bob, given we're talking about Fies, criticises him for deflecting the glory away from Archie, which I think is a fair shout.
He stole a young man's dreams, didn't he?
Exactly. Yeah.
This is a trick in the Gray family. Actually, they've learnt in the garden. A shot can appear to be going away from goal, but the wicked bend at the last minute, and it was going to fly into the far corner. Yeah, but Fies didn't want that.
What are you angling at then, Rob? Come on.
I mean, we were chatting about bald frauds in the weekly show, and I think, I think Maresca seemed like an obvious candidate. Just always seems to be whinging, never seems to be happy. I do quite enjoy that a lot of their fans seem to just completely not rate him as well, even though they're top of the league by quite a way.
Every single nomination that's found its way into the sheet uses the words bald fraud at some point or another.
Yeah, Wedge saying bald fraud Pep from Wish, which I think sums him up quite nicely.
Yeah. Although he was quite magnanimous and gracious in defeat, wasn't he? To be fair, far more so than I anticipated.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame, really.
And obviously him choking at about 80 minutes is what paved the way to our victory. So it feels like a difficult sell because we won.
That's true. Well, I suppose you can take Dewsbury Hall off the list as well, because ultimately we beat him too. So.
Yeah, but nobody likes a bunch of losers, do they?
Nominate ITV?
Yeah, I was going to say...
John the Fisherman's put them forward for being constantly shit, missing the majority of the first goal. It seems fair enough, I suppose. But
yeah, has it gone to shit since you left ITV?
Yeah.
Is that the moment you can see whether it's turned?
It was on, I will say, actually...
It was on a steep decline when you were still there?
The player actually worked.
Right.
Which it didn't always.
The ITV player?
I think it's maybe better than it used to. When I used to work there, it used to not work half the time.
Right.
But you had to just, we were just told to gaslight people and tell them it did work. Just like people are going, it's shit, I've paid for this advertising, it's not working on there. Go, no, it is working. Yeah. What it is your internet has been...
Trixie.
Being monitored probably because of something you've done, and that's why it's not working.
Yeah,
so
because obviously they've rebranded it
ITV
X now, which makes it sound space age, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, the old the ITV online player. I think that's a fair shout. That did deny us some pleasure, didn't it?
I'm probably not going to get a job back at ITV.
I'm starting to think not.
You might have burnt your bridge, I think.
Look, they need some fresh ideas, and I'm the man to
go back in there and reinvigorate the TV network.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. What would you do?
My destroy and exit that I did.
What would you do to transform its fortunes? Just give little secret, little glimpse behind the curtain of genius ideas here.
I'd probably bring back 2.4 children and the upper hand.
Right.
Would be my first moves.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were on ITV in the first place, but yeah.
Well, Gladiators has made a resurgence, but it's gone to the other side, hasn't
That's
it?
true, yeah.
Yeah.
They brought back Birds of a Feather once as well.
Yeah.
And that worked. Keeping Up Appearances, bring that back.
Was that not BBC?
Yeah, but it can move.
Can it?
Yeah, it can move across channels, can't it?
Yeah, The Voice did, didn't it? They took The Voice off the BBC.
Exactly.
I'd get them to get Premier League football. That'd fix it all. Yeah, be great.
I do actually miss ITV having Champions League football because I did used to watch it on that, and I generally can't be arsed now. It's over on BT or whatever.
TNT Sport it is now, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah,
and
and
the FA Cup's going there now, so we're going to miss our cup victory next year.
A chance of Jake Humphrey as well.
Yeah,
on there, which
always a big favourite.
Which was always something to be avoided, wasn't it? So, yeah, I don't know to give it to. Really, it's been quite a good week, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there's a number of cheap shots at Conor Gallagher. Obviously, scored the winner. Nobby is unhappy because he's a Chelsea shitbag who did foul after foul after foul.
Well, I suggested he tried to burst Somerville's kidney, didn't I? With that,
You did, yes.
Kick to the side. Said he should really be for attempted murder.
Yes, you did.
But he seems to have survived it.
Right.
Well, we don't know if he's made it through the night. Do we?
I was going to say you don't know that for a fact.
No.
So reserve judgment on that.
Fair enough. The Chelsea kits misbehaving when bathing rightly nominates them, I think, for the stick-on badge.
Oh, the shiny one.
Yeah, it looks like it's made from bootleg Pokemon cards. That's what he's described it as. Yes, that's fair enough.
Yep.
And he also says he's decided he quite likes the rhubarb and custard.
Good.
There is a controversial shout for Archie Gray from Sean, which is probably fair enough, actually. 17-year-old Archie Gray for using the phrase back in the day.
Is that how you feel when you come in here, Rob? Mind you, you're over 30 now. We'll drag you down.
No, I do generally feel like I'm just surrounded by two senile old men just chatting shit. So.
Well, what's fun now is your next big birthday is 40. How does that feel?
Yeah, I don't want to think about that. It's a while yet, don't worry.
Yours is coming around for you soon, isn't it? Is it this year?
No.
It's insane you're not 40.
It's going to surprise a lot of viewers who think I'm probably still in my 20s.
Yeah, very much so.
But yeah, it's coming around. What do you mean it's insane I'm not 40?
Because look at you and listen to you.
You do inhabit the space of somebody who's clearly beyond your years.
Wise beyond my years is what you mean.
Yeah, very much so. Any other petty grievances or cheap shots, or do we want to give it to one of those?
Farker gets one.
Oh, for what?
Gareth Matt nominates him for putting Nonto on giants at corners. I have noticed this as a theme, that he seems to always be marking someone like a big shithouse centre-back who's coming, making a run from deep, and you see Willie Nonto kind of on the edge of the box looking at him going, oh dear. Well, I suppose we're not generally conceding too many, but...
There was that one last night where he just sort of fell over, didn't he? Really? It was like he was resting against him, and the guy moved, and he just sort of like bellboy falling through the bar,
just toppled. Anything else?
On corners, actually, Tyler nominates the concept of corners, right. And he said he thinks the Feist goal was rather woke.
Yeah. Obviously, this, because we've pivoted off massively to the right now.
Of course, yeah.
To hoover up those numbers, isn't it? That's what it's all about. Those big numbers. Get the grift going.
Cheap shot against Ipswich, House of Stokes.
Sorry, how's the goal woke?
Because he didn't like it.
Right, okay. That's fair enough. That's what you do, isn't it now? Yeah.
Ipswich, just give up already, you exhausting bunch of tractor nonsense. Seems fair enough.
Just that's coming from somebody in the States where the word nonce, it's very much a British insult, isn't it? Is nonce. Prison slang, as you know, obviously, from your days back on the wing.
That's why I look so old.
But yeah, good that the American audience is getting on board with that. I like that. That's good. Who is it going to be then?
Jermaine Beckford. Just I forgot. Marco M tells us that he love heart emojied Humphrey's post about him and his wife.
Right.
So do we need to write him out of our history now?
Full on Smith cured his Leeds history for me.
Done. He said done. Yeah, I mean, fine. Was it Humphrey doing a humble brag? Probably.
Well, his wife's too good for him, so I suppose in that respect, yeah.
Right, fine. Who's the winner?
Well, you decide this, don't you?
I can't remember who you said.
Let's give it to the ball fraud. That's fine.
No, but he's not done anything to upset me this week.
All right. Give it to ITV.
Yep, there you go. Fine. Right, as for our Player of the Year scores, we've got Leicester and Chelsea to factor into this. So high scores in both games. Man of the match, Archie against Leicester. The highest score at 8.54 out of 10, although Farker is scoring higher consistently at the minute, isn't he? Not that he's a player. Connor Roberts with an 8. Meslier just under that. Dan James, Rutter. And then Chelsea. Matteo Joseph comes out with man of the match.
Scott's still coming in for that one.
Right, so it could all change.
Could still tweak, but...
Yeah, but Archie's just shy of 9. Jaden Anthony scored high. Ampadu, Rodon, Connor Roberts, and so on and so forth.
This week has brought Archie into the reckoning for Player of the Year, actually, because Somerville and Rodon have both had not bad weeks, but not brilliant weeks, whereas Archie's had a couple of good scores. Ampadu's consistent, so it's now... Somerville is still just about top 7.28, but then Archie in 4th is 7.17.
Oh, it's getting tight at the top.
It's tight.
We could maybe do a Young Player of the Year, couldn't we?
Oh, I suppose so. Who do you think might win it? Mind you, I mean, Somerville.
He's only a baby. Jorginho's only 21.
Yeah.
Chris Klassen's still up there.
Yeah, that's true.
Doing great stuff. Anyway, we'll see. Let's do the Gaetano Berardi Hero of the Week award. Who are you putting forward?
I mean, it feels like it's almost uncontested this week.
Yeah, we know who it is, don't we?
What, Archie?
Yeah.
Well done. There you go.
I mean, I'll make a case for Matteo Joseph, I suppose, because that was really good too.
I didn't see it, so...
Because of ITV?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know why that is? Because ITV is underperforming in certain aspects of its output.
Yeah, it's still a major...
Doesn't quite scan as well as the song.
Still the biggest commercial broadcaster in Britain.
Yeah.
That's what they were singing.
Right. Despite...
It's just that for the majority of the time, football rights are outside of their price range.
Right. Is that the song? That's the whole song there, yeah.
When BT Sport bought the rights to the Champions League...
And hugely overpaid
they
for
paid
it.
about 3 times more than ITV.
Right.
And I think that's sometimes hard to get across in a song.
Yeah.
There's a few verses, isn't there?
Yeah.
It goes on a lot
Yeah.
longer.
It's like the national anthem. When you get beyond the first bit, no one really knows it.
Well, before we crown Archie Gray, should we do a little doff of the cap? Just some nods in the direction of the people who need to be recognised this week for their good work.
I mean, it's everyone really, because that Leicester game was ace.
Yeah.
Even though we played bad for the majority of it. All's well that ends well.
So you finish, not how you start.
Exactly.
Patson Daka for his miss. The bald fraud even gets a mention. Maresca here for his salty tears, says Matt.
And for helping us out a lot by subbing off their best players.
Yeah, that undoubtedly helped Matt, didn't it? The Lions person who disallowed their second goal, Temple wants to nominate them.
Yeah, it was good. I tell you what's not great, actually, for looking at the scores.
So hang on a second. So we've pivoted off to the right. The Lions bloke.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
From the Chelsea game, I think I'm right in saying the referee got a higher score than Joel Pirro.
Oh.
Which is bad, because the referee always gets the lowest score.
Yeah.
So he's finished. I mean, given the scores are still coming, he still might do better than
Joel
Firpo
Pirro's
as well.
fine. Let him be.
He is fine.
He's fine. He's fine.
Must admit, I was surprised to see Junior Firpo was above the referees.
Your comment on the match ball of the goals being Firpo adjacent is still tickling me to this.
I don't want to blame him.
No.
Just going to say he was there.
He was in the area.
He was in the area
where the crime was committed.
Where the things occurred. The bad things. It should be questioned, is all I'm saying.
Like Pawson gets a mention by Paddy Bamford's golden knee. Top class performance to spot that offside when so many people would have missed it.
Mm.
Yeah, well done.
It was a moral offside. I think didn't we decide during the week that it was a shove on Rutter anyway?
Yeah, it was a foul.
It was a foul,
and he was interfering with play from an offside position, so it's definitely fine, isn't it?
Yeah, it was the right decision, morally speaking.
Should we take this opportunity just to say how good Archie Gray is?
Yeah,
because he is really, really, really good. I'm still quietly chuckling about that little taking people on the edge of his own area manoeuvre that he did. He's fearless.
And just everything about his goal, Eddie looking happy in the stands, all the photos of it look amazing. Lee Brown, who was there for us, has got a really great reel on his Instagram. It's just really good to have a 17-year-old Gray in the team. I was saying last night in the match ball, I think it's become almost normalised and we kind of take it for granted. And then seeing kind of outside eyes on it, you're sort of reminded going, oh yeah, this is fucking brilliant actually.
Yeah, can you remember being 17?
Yeah.
I can just about. Yeah, I wasn't doing this.
No.
Let's put it that way, no. No. Yeah. I presume you were a hardened drinker by then?
I mean, I was drinking.
Right.
Not very good at it. Still
No.
not very good at it.
No, you're not. You're really not. Are
Not
you?
really.
No.
Still, I've always been very sicky. Archie probably is fine.
What do you reckon he drinks? Coca-Cola, Diet Coke, caffeine-free Diet Coke.
Probably.
He's not going to make the mistake that Jack Clark did by pumping himself full of silly Red Bull drinks, is he?
It was. There was a picture of. I can't remember which Twitter account it was now, but it was almost like a throwback image of Joseph and Gray, and I was like, that was last year. Because it's kind of going, look at them now, sort of thing. You know, like you saw with Fab Delph and Danny Rose, for example, when they were playing for England and stuff, and it was them like actually playing a long time ago. So like, this is like months ago.
Still only boys, aren't they?
But Matteo Joseph bulked up massively though.
Yeah.
In the last couple of years, so that's good. Brendan,
So when Brendan comes back,
exactly.
spend some time with Matteo.
I did look at that picture, and I shouldn't be obsessed with Brendan really, but he's annoyed me a few times. So I did look at it and think, even in that picture, when Archie Gray's like literally 15, he would absolutely deck Brendan Aronson. I've no doubt whatsoever.
Take a shirtless fight to the death. Would he have him?
Undoubtedly so.
Yeah.
Did you see Brendan's goal at the weekend?
It went in off his back or something, didn't it? I've not seen it.
I don't think they've actually credited it to him. It's like, no, that doesn't count. You didn't mean it, so we're not giving you it.
Didn't mean it. Whereas Archie did. As we know. He's our hero of the week, isn't he?
Yeah.
The boy hero. The boy wonder.
West Leeds woman says, I cried real tears when his goal went in.
Real ones.
Real ones.
Literally real tears, as the kids would say.
Yeah. Are we in danger of making Eddie Gray's granddad? Because it keeps showing Eddie Gray, doesn't it? And I'm like, oh, there he is.
No, I don't think that's the case.
No.
I don't think the Gray family is going to be confused at all by
Okay.
by any of this.
Okay, fine.
They'll probably have the final say on it.
Right, that's all right. As long as they're keeping a handle on it.
Yeah, as long as they know.
I don't want any confusion.
Then we're all good. Archie Gray, what a guy. And on to Huddersfield, I suppose. And we will we'll reveal the winner of the Kaiser Chiefs competition on the show with Phil. That'll be on Friday, and we'll preview Huddersfield, and we will see you later. Bye.
The Square Ball Podcast.